What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Coach Potatoes podcast. Today is Sunday, September 9th, 2018. With you, as always, is Ben, TJ, and Anthony, and we are currently recording episode number 2. So we enjoyed it so much the first time that we're doing it again. We hope you guys like it. We're going to go through some NFL stuff with preseason predictions for awards. Maybe touch on week 1. We're also going to go through the baseball playoff stuff and kind of what we think is going to happen there. But before we do, we're going to start off with the big UFC event that happened last night with the Woodley fight. Woodley ends up winning in submission. And we're just going to kind of go through what we thought about the entire card, some moments that stuck out, as well as, predictions going future. We know we have a big fight coming up between with Conor. So we're going to go ahead and dive into what happened last night.
Yeah, dope. That's what I would say the card was. Really dope. Even the one fight that didn't end in a finish in the main card, the Rivera versus Dotson. I mean, both of those were swinging bombs. They were coming at him hard. And it was a good card all around, even with the unfortunate pullout of the co-main event due to illness or the champion. But congratulations to Woodley.
Well, it was good to see Woodley actually get back to his pre-champ self, where he just comes out and just kicks the hell out of him. He came out swinging. Within probably that first 10 seconds, he was already throwing bombs and trying to put Till down. And that was a huge change of pace from his last 3. Me and Anthony watched the fight together, and we were talking a lot about how Woodley's last 3 fights with Maya and then the 2 with Thompson were just a snooze fest. They were poop.
I mean, yeah, they did not play to what Woodley likes to do. Both Thompson and Maya, right, they had their plans.
Mm-hmm.
Thompson wanted to sit back, wait for Woodley to come in so he could counter.
Yeah.
Maya, literally all he did was just throw takedowns and just go after him. Single legs, double legs, you name it. I want to say he did over 20 takedown attempts. Woodley stuffed them all. But that's the thing. Woodley, he didn't want to play the Thompson's game, so he didn't want to charge in, which he's known for. He's known for his explosiveness. And he was just waiting for Maya to his next takedown attempt, which he stuffed every single time. Till, he came off his victory over Thompson. He rocked him. Thompson was one of the best strikers in the game. He rocked him. He got him down. So I would say he's just as equally good a striker. But the thing with him is he likes to come forward. And now that does definitely play to Woodley's game. Because Woodley likes to wait for his shot also, explode, and that's exactly what he did.
Oh, yeah, you caught him with that overhand right. Till comes in, tries to hit him with that left. Woodley's just so quick and explosive. Bam! Right on the temple. He's down, at least rocks him, and then, he gets on top and then starts just throwing some vicious elbows. Vicious. It was so just textbook. And I just felt bad. You just see Till's head bouncing against the mat, just eating those elbows all the time. And then, he curls up, gets on his side, and then just happily slides his head perfectly into the pocket, into Woodley's arms. And Woodley just closes it up and sinks in that Darce choke. And that was all she wrote.
And that's scary. He's already explosive enough. His thighs are the size of my torso, and I'm pretty fat, so that's pretty, that's a feat. You had an explosiveness.
Pun intended.
Oh, shit. Sure, pun intended. But you had the explosiveness, you had in the ground and pound. He's already a good wrestler as it is. Now you're throwing in Darce chokes? That's a scary man.
Well, that choke earned him his black belt.
That's right.
They threw him his black belt in the ring.
He defended his belt, and then he gets his black belt. So, yeah, double congrats to Woodley.
Just 4th defense?
4th defense, yeah.
His 4th defense, correct.
He
took it from Lawler,
and
then to Thompson, Maya, now Till. But Darren Till, he's younger than us. I think he's 25.
Yeah, he's
25 or 26.
It was only his first loss. He lost to the champion. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're already beating people like Thompson, Till will be back.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get another shot, and I think well deserved. The kid's a beast. I thought it was really interesting to see. We saw those 2 reverse knee bars in one card.
2 of them, yep.
Those are crazy finishes. The one from the Russian guy was Zabit, Nurmagomedov. However you say his name.
Wow, we're gonna go with that. Yes.
that dude is bad. Like watching him, that dude, he looks crazy, he fights crazy, and he made that dude like a freaking pretzel
Yeah,
to lock in that knee bar.
Yeah, knee bar against Brandon Davis. Oh, but yeah, that Magomed Sharapov. Yeah, the dude just looks insane.
He's huge.
I'm not gonna assume
Huge for that weight class. He's like 6'1", and he's fighting at 145.
I'm not gonna assume he trains with Khabib just because he's also Russian. I don't know if that's countryist. I don't know, but yeah, that the man's already a monster. And I mean, yeah, he can play. I'm gonna go for that hair. I wish there was video. I'm rocking that hairstyle.
Yeah, he has the natural hair that Khabib always wears.
The hat.
Yeah.
Oh, that was too funny. Oh, the co-main, the new co-main was Jessica Andrade versus Carolina Kowalkiewicz. Andrade's killer. She manhandled the hell out of her.
She tagged her from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, and props to Carolina. Carolina? I don't know.
I think it's Carolina.
Props to Carolina. I mean, she's a good striker in her own right. I mean, she was tagging her. She was making her respect her. But then Andrade, she touched her chin. It was a KO. She literally fell back.
Yeah, she hit her with that right on the jaw. You just see your head just flop back and just smack the mat. Like, oh, no.
Just an absolute bulldogged her. She just,
yeah. That was it. That was actually a really good fight. That was one if you like you kind of the stand-in brawls and just we're just gonna stand and trade and whoever gets put to the floor first, that's what happens. That was how they went out and handled that fight. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I just think Andrade just came on way too strong for Carolina.
Oh, did you see her arms? Holy crap!
Oh yeah,
she jacked.
Yeah, I can only aspire to be her, 150-pound, 5'1" female. But yes, yeah. And then
you aspire to be a female.
And 5'1"
as ripped as her. Okay. You know what?
You set yourself up for these, so
yeah,
whatever. Very true.
But we'll go. When there were two undercard fights that I also want to talk about, Suarez murdered Esparza.
Oh god,
absolute murder.
Esparza's known for wrestling too, and she just got tossed around like a rag doll.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even say Suarez was a better fighter, like technical wise. She just wanted more, and she threw it to the ground. She manhandled her. I don't even know how she did it.
Yeah, that was impressive watching that one because I mean it didn't matter. Esparza would do everything she could for 4 minutes after getting ground and pounded to get up, and then she'd get up and then she'd get chucked right back to the ground. And hats off to Suarez. She earned it. That was a good fight.
A relative newcomer with the UFC, but I mean, and I can't think of their weight division off the top of my head, but number 9 beat number 6. She's either in line for a title shot next, or her next fight would be for.
Suarez was 9. She's not jumping from 9 to number 1. Number 6.
Okay, because I was gonna say because Till jumped to a shot beating Thompson, but he was number 8, but Thompson was number 1. Yeah, so I guess that made a little more sense. I don't know though. She definitely someone to watch for. Tatiana Suarez. And then, as TJ mentioned before, Sterling, he was the other knee bar against Stateman.
His was very impressive because he had him in. They were tossing each other around for a little bit. Then Sterling he transitions into full mount when they're on the ground. Stateman gives him his back, and then he gets him in this body triangle, and it literally looked like he had him in like a full Nelson, like on the mat, and he's like cranking his arms up, and it was like, oh my gosh. So hats off to Stateman for staying in there as long as he did. And then it was interesting because it's right when he starts to stand up and Sterling's still on his back and he's kind of in like a squat position. And then Sterling reaches around with both hands on his left leg and yanks his foot out and then just cranks his knee and it's done. That was a good finish. Sterling is what I've been watching for a while. Dude's exciting. And he's probably going to be in the talks for a title shot here soon because he was number 6, I believe, in that fight last night. He'll probably get a shot at one of the top guys soon.
Oh, I would think so. And just a testament to, him staying in there, I would have said Stateman, yeah, whatever. I would say he won the first fight because he was taking Sterling down. He was landing some good punches. I would have said that Sterling was down going into that second round.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he was doing well. Just it was kind of chaotic there for a minute. They were kind of both taking top positions on the ground and kind of throwing each other around, and then Sterling ended up on top, gets his back, and It's difficult to escape once a guy gets you back. It's tough because he was throwing in some vicious bombs, from up top, and so he didn't really leave him any option but to give up his back, and then you just really
I don't know how these people take these shots and just not immediately.
Yeah.
You give me a Charlie horse, I'm crying all the way back to him.
Yeah, when they eat those knees to the thighs when they're in the clinch like that. Okay. I'm good.
So this week, look out for our predictions on the upcoming UFC Fight Night. So we're going to have Mark Hunt versus Olenek, and that's a free fight, September 15th. And we'll try to get our predictions out before. And we'll see who's going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
who does Woodley fight next? What's our guess? Nate Diaz?
No, Diaz is not coming in to get a title shot.
No, we're not.
Nate Diaz puts people in stands, though.
I don't give a shit. He doesn't deserve a shot at Woodley already. It's Covington. Covington's gonna get the next shot. Colby's number 1.
I think we get it. Yeah.
Because Dos Anjos is 3, Wonder Boy's at 4, and Lawler's at 5. He's already dismantled 4 and 5 and 2. So 1 or 3's got to get the next shot. Logically, you think Covington's the next one in line.
Yeah, logically. I don't know. The way UFC's going, you throw in that Nate Diaz, anything can happen, I guess. But I would rather follow the rankings if that's even a thing.
Well, what's the point of having the rankings if you don't follow? I know they haven't been following them very closely.
God. Well, I tell you, the reason money.
Yeah, but see, what starts to happen, which has already happened with people like myself and Bilf to a certain extent, is you start to lose engagement from the people who want to see these guys defend their belts. All this super fight bullshit. Conor's a perfect example. First, 2-belt champ, hadn't defended either belt, and then he leaves to go fight Floyd to get 100 mil. It's like, that's all well and good on a personal level, but if you're the champ, you got to defend your belt.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody like Demetrius Johnson who defends it fucking 10 times gets nothing, and nobody even wants to watch him because he got bored.
Yeah, so we're talking about McGregor. I mean, hell, what do we even think? Who do you even think of him?
So he hasn't fought since Floyd, right?
Correct. Actually, wrong. He was fighting a bus full of fighters.
That's true.
With the dolly.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
So what do you even think about him being... So I guess from your point of view, Ben, I'm sure we're following UFC the fighters a little more closely, but just as a spectator looking in, McGregor shouldn't even be back in the UFC.
Why?
Why he should or
Law breaking is normally a good reason not to be.
Okay, so then kick half the people out of the NFL.
I don't disagree with that. I'm saying, I get what Bill's saying, dude. It's like Conor goes on this fucking crazy rampage, chucks a dolly at a bus, shatters the window, ends up cutting Chiesa's face.
Oh, he had
to miss
his fight.
That fight that he was supposed to fight that weekend.
That's why I think Rose Namajunas, I think she was fighting, and I don't think she pulled out, but I think she said, one of her arms, I guess, or her hands got cut. Something.
Yeah.
Something happened to her. I mean, she still fought, but that is one of your assets attacking a whole busload of your assets. And I believe Rose was actually fighting for either for the belt or defending it against Joanna. So I don't know how you go. Sure, you can stay on. Don't say money. Don't you dare say money.
Yeah. So let's go through this. I found this interesting, and I saw this before. So here's the UFC events that have had over 1 million pay-per-view buys, and I'm going to go through the card headliners, and I want you to think about how many of these people are still fighting, with the exception of Conor. Number 1, 1.6 million, Diaz McGregor 2. Number 2, McGregor Diaz. Number 3, Alvarez McGregor. Number 4, Aldo McGregor. Number 5, Lesnar Carwin. Number 6, Rousey Holm. Number 7, Nunes Rousey. The Ultimate 2008 is number 8. Jackson and Evans is number 9. Lesnar Velasquez is 10. Liddell Ortiz 2. Weidman Silva 2. Couture Lesnar and Tate Nunes. Those are the only fights that have ever gotten over 1 million pay-per-view views, and almost no one is fighting with Jeff McGregor. That's why he's still in the UFC.
Well, first off, you mentioned Shane Carwin, one of my favorite heavyweights. No one talks about him anymore. Anyway,
for good reason.
So when you ask why, unless McGregor, granted he did break the law, but sports always transcends the law. We've seen it. It's not just in UFC; it's every sport. And when you put that many people not even in the stands but buying the fights, you're going to do it. And that's the same reason why he doesn't have to defend the titles. Because as much as Dana White probably wants to go by the rankings, Dana White also only really cares about his money also. And when McGregor makes you this much money, you give him whatever the hell he wants.
I don't know. It's a tough pill to swallow. There's a bunch of other deserving fighters. I don't even think I know he beat Alvarez and pretty handedly.
He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. He should have haven't even had that shot. Sure, he beat Nate Diaz after a decision, and I heard some people thought maybe Diaz would have won. That being a rematch because he lost to Diaz previously.
Yep.
So how do you go from losing to a lightweight? Sure, you beat that same lightweight, but in a decision, it wasn't like he knocked him out. It wasn't decisively. And then you go to a title shot. Again, I understand he won. But there were much more. If that was the case, why didn't Diaz then get another shot at Alvarez?
That was a catchweight fight. They didn't fight it late. Because Conor had to move up. They fought at like 170.
Oh, okay. Well, so then it wasn't a lightweight fight, but still. Well, a well-known lightweight fighter in Diaz, he submits Conor. He finishes him. And then just because Conor comes back and beats him in a decision victory, he deserves to get Eddie Alvarez? For me personally, no. The millionth time, I know he won. But no, I don't think he should have had it. Because then what did he do right after? He said, I'm going to go fight Floyd. Sorry, Dana. And that's it. He still hasn't defended either belt.
Fair, but Dana got his cut of the Floyd Conor fight. It wasn't sorry, Dana. It was you're welcome, Dana. And that's more of the answer to that question. The thing that concerns me, and I hear what you guys are saying, and I do believe that there are people coming up that everyone should deserve, if they win, they should get to fight. But the fact is that UFC is focused on the money, and that's fine. It's a business. But just for argument's sake, so Stipe Cormier may be the biggest fight this year until Conor later.
Yeah.
380,000 pay-per-view views. They did a fifth of what Conor did at 1.6 million.
But I think it's ironic because I think it's stunts like this McGregor thing that was losing people's interest, at least in the fans that are dedicated. I think it's stunts like that that's why they're losing.
True.
Now, Dana's not going to care come McGregor because now you have all these people who kind of don't care, but they're going to be like, wait, McGregor.
Yeah.
That's that guy who's just freaking hilarious and says F you to everyone. I want to watch him fight. Mm-hmm. So, it doesn't matter. But I think that's a big middle finger to really dedicated UFC fighters that they're doing shit like this.
True. And I think in all sports, if you're like a diehard purist, that's how you feel with all sports. Because even if I look at baseball, they're trying to make the game faster because they're trying to appeal to more people. But the purists are like, there's nothing wrong with the game. But unfortunately, the purists are always going to be in this situation because they feel like they already have you. They're trying to get people that they don't have.
Right.
And Conor brings in the people that you don't have. As upset as you guys are about Conor and his title fight, you guys still watch the fight next day. You're still going to watch the Conor fight. Wow.
That I am.
You're no way missing that. The purists, the businesses, the NFL, baseball, UFC, they see them as they don't see them losing you guys. Unless they did something like drastic. Yeah. If they had Conor just fight, Nick Cannon in the ring just as a publicity stunt.
I would have gone for Cormier, but I guess we can throw a Nick Cannon in there.
Yeah, but you'd still watch that.
Nick Cannon.
You would watch Cormier. You would watch Cormier. You might not watch McGregor Nick Cannon. But so even if just last thing, he's going to go through this list. There's just a lot of people on here, with the exception of St. Pierre. We just talked about the biggest fight this year. Didn't pick up 400,000 pay-per-view views. I don't know if the UFC's hurting. You guys probably know better than I do, but there's a lot in here, over 500,000. But a lot of these people, Hughes, Silva, Velasquez, I guess St. Pierre, has come back, but a lot of these are St. Pierre, Lesnar, Anderson Silva, Rousey, a lot of Couture, all these fighters that the clips over 500,000 aren't even fighting anymore. So I think, with the exception of Conor and GSP, because he's come back.
He already left again.
John Jones screwed himself, but they lost a lot of big names. I think a lot faster than the UFC thought. With Rousey and Jones and how everything happened.
Oh yeah, and Rousey was overnight.
I think they're hurting right now, honestly, to get those views up.
So, I guess we'll talk a lot about McGregor. We'll just mention Khabib. aside from his injuries, he's a
monster.
Yes.
He's so good.
Do you guys think if he's winning?
If so,
Let's put it this way. We'll save our prediction for later, but what does Khabib have to do in order to
take him
Conor
down. Take him down. Yeah.
If Khabib will take Conor down, which he probably will, because he's an absolute animal, Conor stands. I'll give him a 1% chance of surviving.
He's a master on the ground, but God, let's knock on. We have no wood, but Khabib doesn't blow out his knee. I mean, October 6th.
less than a month?
Less than a month, but that's more time than I want to give him because he's probably gonna get injured.
Yeah, let's move it up, Dana.
Yeah. So. Okay.
All right. Well, keep a lookout for our predictions for next week, and then obviously as we get closer to Conor, we'll give you our more insight, and then when we get real close, we'll do the predictions the week before. That's going to be a huge fight, probably the biggest fight this year for the UFC. So we'll have you touch on that. So let's transition over to the baseball playoffs. Cheech and I were kind of talking about this before we started, but the American League is kind of all set, so we're going to talk about mainly the playoffs on that side, and then we'll talk about the National League and how we think the race is going to end. So on the American League, it's pretty much solidified that it's going to be the Red Sox and the Yankees from the East. The Red Sox will more than likely win the division. I think we said there's 19, 20 games left for most teams. So
they have like a 7.5 game lead or something like that. So it would take a pretty monumental collapse from them.
It would, it'd be a pretty big collapse for a lot of the teams in place. The Indians pretty much have already clinched, if they haven't already clinched for sure. I guess they're up 16.5 with 19 to go. So
they just lose out.
It has to be the worst ending in season history. And then Houston and Oakland have pretty good leads. So it's pretty much Boston, Cleveland, and Houston are going to be your division winners, and then you're going to have the Yankees at home against the Oakland A's more than likely in that play-in wild card game. For the winner to play, what's looking like to be the Red Sox right now. They have an 8-game lead, 7.5 game lead for the best record in the AL. So I guess I'll start. I think the Yankees win at home. And they'll probably start Severino, and I like Manaea from the A's, but the Yankees at home with their power and just that small right field porch, I don't see them losing a game. Plus, I think the Yankees fans are, they made the playoffs last year, and they're kind of rejuvenated with the team that they have, and they just have so many people on that team that just want, you just miss your spot one time with a pitch that's going to win. So, especially Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees lineup is stacked. The A's are not a team I would want to play, though. Since the All-Star break, they've been the best team, arguably, in baseball.
And they've always been kind of constructed as that team if you need to win one game. Like, you need to do, get down and dirty, win one game. That's always kind of been, how the A's are. They're going to give you good pitching. Their bullpen's going to be phenomenal. And if they hold you to 1 or 2 runs, they'll probably score 3 and beat you. Yeah. But if you put 6 on the board, they might not beat you. Yeah. Their whole game plan is to keep you under, 3 runs.
Yeah, they're a good team, though. Like you said, that pitching, whew. Yeah, their pitching's good. Chris Davis is an absolute animal, putting up huge numbers this year. It could get interesting in that wild card spot. I think that will be the wild card matchup near the A's and the Yankees. Granted, having that be, the games to determine who plays Boston, I'm not sure I would be very excited about that. Boston. I feel like everything that all the teams are doing in the AL may be all for nothing because Boston will probably slip them out.
Yeah, as a Boston fan, I'm obviously excited about how the year's gone, but I'm not necessarily confident playing any of the teams in there because all those teams. This might be one of the deepest AL teams I've seen because legitimately, we say this a lot, but legitimately every team that makes. I wouldn't be shocked if any team in the AL won the World Series. I mean, the Indians are phenomenal. They won the World Series last couple of years. Obviously, the Astros won it last year, and they have incredible pitching. And so, I mean, the Red Sox are having a phenomenal year from JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. And I haven't checked. I don't know if JD Martinez was in the conversation for that Triple Crown. I don't know if he's still there.
No, because Mookie's average is still too high.
Yeah, so maybe Mookie will purposely bunt every time up the rest of the way. That way, get that average down for JD to win the Triple Crown. But I wouldn't. I guess it sounds. I'm sure it's the odds-on favorite, but I think Houston, Boston's probably the likely route. And it's really a coin flip, I think, from there to get to the World Series. I do think the AL has more teams that can win the World Series than the NL does. We'll get to it in a second, but I honestly think the Cubs are probably the only NL team that won the World Series.
I agree.
I know Atlanta has had a phenomenal year, and they've gotten back a lot better than. They've come back a lot quicker than people thought. Just Acuna and Albies and their young guys are incredible. But I mean, they just got swept by the Red Sox. I just don't know if they're there. I don't know if they're there, experience-wise to win it. So I think, switching over to the NL, we kind of touched about it. Atlanta's winning their division. They're up 3.5 games. I think they hold on through the end. Cubs are up 2.5 on Milwaukee, 5 on St. Louis. Milwaukee and St. Louis battling out for wild card. And then obviously the NL West is just a shit show. You've got the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks all within 2.5 games. And I think down the stretch, you pretty much only play division games, right?
For the most part,
you pretty much finish the season playing like all division games. So the NL is definitely more exciting heading down the stretch. I think that also gives the AL an advantage because they kind of know where they're at.
Yeah.
You rest people and you kind of know what you're going to do, whereas the NL is going to be battling all the way to the end for a lot of these teams.
Well, you've already seen Boston kind of start to take that route, like giving Sale more rest and stuff like that. Yeah, they've already they know they're going to be, at least in the playoffs, and they've had a pretty comfortable division lead for a while. And the NL teams, they got to go balls to the wall every single game the rest of the way. And with the wild card race is going to be really interesting because right now, so the West is, they're all within 2.5 games of each other between Arizona and Colorado and LA. And then the two central teams are in the lead for the wild card though, with Milwaukee and St. Louis. And then both of them, St. Louis is within 5 of the Cubs. And while that's uneasy as a Cubs fan, I do think we hold on. But you've got 4 teams all within 2 games of each other.
Yep. And the wild card.
Contending for that wild card.
Yeah.
The NL is going to get real interesting over the last month.
And I do think I wouldn't be shocked if both Milwaukee and St. Louis hung on, unless one of them we just talked about they're probably going to be playing division games. So I'm assuming Arizona and the Dodgers are going to be beating up on each other, obviously with Colorado. St. Louis, Milwaukee kind of beat up on each other. So say everyone kind of goes 500, it stays par the course the way it is now. Unless Milwaukee or St. Louis sweeps one or the other, and the Dodger Diamondback do the same, and there's kind of a swap. I think beating up on each other is going to hurt. I do agree with you though. I think the Cubs hang on and the Braves hang on. I do think the Dodgers are going to end up winning the NL West.
Really?
I do. I just don't know if the Rockies pitching is good enough, except of Gray. The Dodgers just with Machado there. I mean, they have the Dodgers the patented they should be one of the best teams ever on paper.
Yeah.
And they just haven't figured it out yet. And I think eventually they'll probably figure it out. I don't think the Diamondbacks have enough offense.
So interesting. The Rockies and Diamondbacks play each other 7 times over the course of September, and then the Rockies still have another 3-game set with the Dodgers, and then they get a 4-game set with the Phillies as well. So the Rockies do not have an easy stretch to hang on. The Dodgers still have the Cardinals to play. And still get another 3-game stretch with the Diamondbacks as well. So there's just so much room for everybody to beat up on each other. I know Milwaukee, we've got another 3-game stretch with them. The Cubs. They've also got another 3-game stretch still to play with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Cardinals right now. Their schedule is tough. They've got Pittsburgh coming up at home, but Pittsburgh, any division game is not tough. And Pittsburgh's 71-71, so as long as they're the worst team ever. Then they've got 4 games against the Dodgers. Then they got the Braves. Then they go to the Giants. Then they end the season with Brewers and Cubs. So the Cardinals might have the toughest schedule down the stretch.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough for them. I do think the Dodgers win the division. I think the Diamondbacks, if I had to pick one team that's gonna put my money on to for sure be out, I think they're gonna at the end of it end up being out.
I may strike my previous comment. Diamondbacks might have the toughest. They finish up before they're set with the Braves today. Then they get 4 with the Rockies. Then they go 3 with the Astros, 3 with the Cubs, 3 with the Rockies, and then 3 with the Dodgers before they get the layups.
Yeah, Padres. So I think the Diamondbacks are unfortunately going to be the team on the outside looking in for sure. I think when all said and done, I think the Cardinals and the Brewers are playing each other in the wild card.
I'd agree.
I think the Dodgers win the division. And then the Cubs are first place in the NL, so you might have the first place AL team and the first place NL team playing their division series games against the team that's in their division, if that happens. Because you have Cubs playing Brewers or Cardinals, and then we think it's going to be the Red Sox probably playing the Yankees. So those are going to be huge series for both, for baseball in general. If it's especially if it's Cubs, Cardinals, Red Sox, Yankees. Like,
Oh, yeah.
those are two of the biggest rivalries, and you get to play the playoff games. So, have the Red Sox Yankees played in the playoffs? When was the last time they played in the playoffs? When the Red Sox came back from down 3-0?
My beast was that 04? 03?
04.
It was 04?
Because then they won again in 07.
Yeah.
And then like in 11, I think.
So yeah, it's been quite some time since we've
Maybe
seen
12.
playoff baseball between the two.
So we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna, the NL is obviously more exciting. I think ultimately it's gonna be Red Sox Cubs in the World Series, and that may be the most won World Series in history with those two teams.
Oh God, I mean, you got probably the two biggest fan bases in baseball.
Yankees
if
up there.
that's how it plays out. Yeah, I mean the Yankees are of course up there.
Those are the biggest three though, for sure.
I mean that is huge. Because a lot of times the concern, I'm sure any baseball official has, is you don't want the teams to necessarily be like all from one area of the country. You don't want to have like two East Coast teams playing, because then you lose the entire West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
With these type of fan bases, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, just get these teams in the World Series, the whole damn country's watching.
Yep.
So I think it probably would be the highest rated, highest watched World Series of all time if it did pan out to be Cubs Red Sox.
Plus,
Or even Cubs Yankees, you could say the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Plus, every game you're at, like some of the most iconic stadiums that are still standing. Like if you have every World Series games either at Wrigley or Fenway, like
That's pretty historic.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts. And those tickets are probably going to be just, I don't even want to think about it. It's probably going to take thousands to be up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
That'd just be nuts. That'd just be so crazy. But can you imagine getting there though?
It would be insane to go. I couldn't imagine getting. Well, the problem is that Fenway and Wrigley are the two stadiums that sell out every game no matter what. I mean, it could be a day game on a Wednesday for the Cubs playing, the Padres, and it sells out because there's people there on vacation. The Fenway's the same thing. It's never not packed.
No.
Because people are there, whether you like the Cubs or the Padres or whoever they're playing, you're just there to see a game there. So, I couldn't imagine like what it's like. I mean, you see it like on TV. Even the Cubs won the World Series, like Wrigley was packed. It was like even just people on the rooftops and everything there. And it's the same way. Like they're both guys, been able to go to both, and they have kind of the same feel where they're kind of like in a not really a downtown area, but there's buildings around them, and the streets are just packed the entire time too, even though the game's going on. Yep. You've got bars surrounding it on all sides, like on the streets. So it would just be the atmosphere. That'd be incredible seeing those two teams. And I think it wouldn't be as like bitter as obviously like Yankees, Red Sox, but I think both fan bases would kind of understand the significance that both their teams have had on baseball. It would just be a full experience for I think both of them. It'd be awesome to go to a game at both just to see the difference.
Oh yeah. It is still one of my lifelong goals because I've already been to Wrigley. I do want to get to Fenway to be there for that stretch and sing Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
And just do it just one time, just so I can just belt it out. That'd just be just so much fun.
They sing at Sunday stretch. They sing Sweet Caroline.
Doesn't every other stadium sing Sweet Caroline?
No, they sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The Red Sox do Take Me Out to the Ball Game too, but then they also do Sweet Caroline.
Huh.
Then the Cubs have a song that they sing if they win. Mm-hmm. Both teams have songs.
I would never.
The Cubs is an original song, though.
Yeah, the Cubs is an original song.
Although
it wasn't written by like a 3-year-old. So. Let's just have Go Cubs Go.
Oh boy.
So I think I'm going with the Red Sox. I'm going to be a homer and go with the Red Sox. I just think Sale is just pitching absolutely out of his mind. I mean, he's nuts. And then the fact that you have JD Martinez, who in any other season would probably win the Triple Crown, but he's not going to because his teammate has an even better average, is just, ridiculous hitting. And, Bogart's just coming around, and they got Brandon Phillips playing second that they just called up as a good veteran guy to have on the bench, which, those players come up big in the playoffs. Like even, one of my biggest memories is when, Dave Roberts was called off the bench. Like he didn't play the Tigers for the Red Sox, but they put him in, stole second. Yep. So those people like that come in handy in the postseason when you have veterans on the bench that can just, they might only get one at bat, but then they come in big for you. So I think that's where I lean, but I do think they'll be playing the Cubs, and I don't think it goes. I don't think it ends early. I think it's going to be an easy 6-7 game series. I'd be shocked if it ended any sooner than 6 or 7.
Who do you think the Red Sox get in the ALCS?
Astros. I think they're going to play the Astros. Because the Astros would have to play the Indians.
Yeah.
And I think the Astros, as amazing as, Trevor Bauer and Who's their
Kluber.
Corey Kluber. As much as both of them are phenomenal, I just think the Astros pitching depth-wise from the start, as a starter is stupid. Like Garrett Cole's like your fourth starter. Like he was an ace last year for the Pirates. He's your fourth starter. But where that really benefits them is that if one of their starters has a bad game, you still have someone who's been in the East before, coming right behind them. Well, and that's the one thing that scares me about the ALCS is that if the Red Sox, they're not as deep down the line. They're kind of top heavy with starting pitching. If you have to rush Chris Sale back for a Game 4, where the Astros in their division are playing Garrett Cole, like now Sale's going to have less rest when the time he gets to the ALCS. So I think I think it's important for the Red Sox in their division series. It's going to be tough if they're playing the Yankees, and I don't know if they'll do it, but if they can get done early in 4 or 5 and get everyone kind of rested and go in full throttle, then that's fine. But if you have to go Sale 1, and then you pitch them 4, and then if you even try to pitch them 7, like I don't know if they beat the Astros that way if they have to do that to get through.
I don't know. I think the way they've been resting Sale, I think they've been trying to prep for that very scenario of they may need to pitch him 3 times in these 7-game series. And to be honest, they could see themselves going 6 or 7 with the Yankees in the division.
Oh, they definitely could.
Like, obviously they just hate each other, and it's always competitive when they play. So I could definitely see that. So then you have Sale going, what's minimum twice, probably in that first round. Then he's going to have to go probably again minimum twice in the ALCS, assuming they get the Astros.
Yep.
And then, who knows how much gas he would have in the tank if they do make it through all that and get to the World Series.
Yep.
It's got to be a question mark.
And that's, I think, where the Red Sox lack is their middle relief. Like, how do you get from Sale to Kimbrel?
Yeah.
And that's like the part that's been, that has hurt them this year. So if they can just have anyone step up there. But yeah, that's going to be the thing is that you got to kind of find the balancing act. Like, if it was possible, they'd want to pitch Sale every day because he's just disgusting. But you're not going to be able to do it. So can you win enough games when he's not pitching and give him enough rest? So it'll be interesting. I think the Red Sox do win, and then, like I said, playing the Cubs, they'll probably play the Astros. I think the Cubs, as much as they don't look like it right now, I do think the Cubs play the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Okay, so you're picking.
So I think
you think the Cubs get the Cardinals in the divisional, assuming the Cardinals get out of the wild card.
Yes. I think that Dodgers win the division, and they have to play the Braves. I think the Dodgers just have more experience than the Braves, and I think they end up winning. Again, Atlanta's a young team; they're not going anywhere. I just think the Dodgers in a 7-game series will probably beat the Braves.
So the NL is where I'll disagree with you. I think the Rockies will hold. I think the Rockies are going to get through. I think Arenado's going to lead them, and he's going to get them into the playoffs. I think they're going to lose to the Braves. So I think the Braves will take out the Rockies in the divisional round, and they will meet the Cubs in the NLCS, and then the Cubs will take them out. Cubs are young and they're experienced.
Yep.
In the playoffs, they will get through, and then
they have a rejuvenated Cole Hamels.
That dude has been lights out since he got to us.
I don't know what it was because he couldn't pitch well to save his life, until he got there, and he just found his old form.
Yeah, he's got like a .4 ERA. He's like 7-0 or something crap, but it's just nuts.
Yeah, so I think we both agree it's going to be Cubs. Who do you think in the AL? Do you think the Red Sox meet the Cubs? Cubs Astros or Red Sox Astros is really a toss up because they both have incredible hitting, they both have incredible pitching. The Astros were just there. I just think I don't know if the Astros. I don't want to say they didn't get worse, but they didn't necessarily, with exception of Garrett Cole, I think their hitting is still the same as last year, and it was phenomenal last year. It's just so hard to repeat.
It's so difficult to repeat. I do think the Red Sox get by mainly because they've got 2 certain gentlemen who are both hitting over 330 and just putting up incredible numbers on offense, and they've got the pitching to get through. So I do think the Red Sox will get by Houston and will meet the Cubs in the World Series. And then there's no way. I'm always going to take my Cubbies. I'm not taking the Red Sox over my Cubbies. So I'm thinking the Cubbies will get their next ring this year. It's happening, especially now that we got Hamels.
Yeah,
another solid starter.
And you might get Bryce Harper next year. We'll see.
He knows what's up. He knows where to go.
You mentioned Arenado, the Roker shot for him because I think he's like the most underappreciated player in the league. If he was on any team but the Rockies, first of all, he's probably the best third baseman in the league.
I'd agree.
And I think he's a top 5 player. he isn't like hitting. I mean, he rakes.
Yeah.
But he's just in a small market in Colorado that he's one of those guys that's going to be like when he becomes a free agent, if he decides to leave Colorado, he's going to get like $100 million contract from the Cubs, Yankees, or Red Sox, and people aren't going to really like understand how good he is until he gets there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right, so today is week 1 of the NFL.
Technically Thursday was.
Yeah, correct. Technically Thursday started.
It is week 1. That was the
And
game.
U of A alum Nick Foles led the Eagles to victory.
Yeah,
Did you guys watch the game? See they ran that Philly special again?
Yeah.
The ball to him. So we're going to go through. Last week we talked about our predictions for the divisions and then the playoffs, and we thought it was going to win the Super Bowl. Quick recap: I had the Vikings win the Super Bowl. TJ had the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, and then Bilf obviously had his Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Big stretch for me.
Yeah, it was a big stretch. We're going to go through today and kind of talk about who we think is going to win the awards, who's going to be in the conversation for the different awards for the NFL. So let's start. I guess we'll start with we'll start backwards, and then we'll work our way up to MVP. So first one, let's do Coach of the Year. When I was thinking about this, I think it's going to be Doug Peterson, Coach of the Eagles. The reason I think is because they were
Really?
So the problem is, so I get what you're saying because they were phenomenal last year in the one Super Bowl. But did he win it last year? I don't know if he did.
No, my coach did. McVay won.
Okay, so McVay won. So he didn't win it last year, right? So you kind of feel this like, and he was probably in the conversation they should have won it. They're going to play, as of right now, I'm guessing half the season without Wentz. He got injured in Week 14 last year. He tore his ACL, which on average takes a year to come back. So that's Week 14. If they rush him back, let's say they play half the season with Nick Foles. If they're 5-2 by the time Wentz comes back with Foles, granted Foles did win the Super Bowl, but we saw he played on Thursday. Like he's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not their answer.
Yeah,
for long
but if they're 5-2, like when Wentz comes back, or 6-3 when Wentz comes back, I think that's a hell of a coaching job. Like, dude, you have a backup, then you're gonna leave the playoffs, then you get Wentz back, and you go in the playoffs. That's obviously gonna depend on how they play, but that's my thing. But I also think there's a piece of him. It was a toss-up last year between him and McVay. I think it was more of a shock that the Rams were good than the Eagles were good. No offense, I just think it was. And I think that's why McVay won. I think a lot of times Coach of the Year is the shock factor. But if you could have a postseason Coach of the Year, it would have been him. So I wouldn't be surprised if it transitions into this year.
Was that not his first year, though, in the playoffs? Peterson, as a head coach?
Might have been his first year as a head coach.
I mean, I would have I actually think you're right. I mean, I know McVay won it because, the turnaround. I mean, you're not going to coach a team who was last in scoring. It's number one in scoring next year. So it's that comeback thing. And that's actually where I think why me and TJ were surprised to pick Peterson. It's that kind of comeback factor. Because Peterson, he's not going to, can't really come back from a Super Bowl.
If you have a Super Bowl winning team and then they get back to the playoffs again, it's like, okay, well, yeah, they just won the Super Bowl last year. We kind of expected it to be good again. So I think he's going to lose votes simply for that. Even if he does, I don't disagree with you that if he can get a Nick Foles-led Eagle team to at least a winning record, without Wentz, then you can make an argument that that's incredible and that that's a good, solid coaching job. But I don't think if you have a team that just sucked last year, we'll put out Bilf's Browns as an example here. I think if the Browns coach gets him to 5 wins, coach of the year.
I mean, that wasn't be my pick.
The problem is that I think Coach of the Year they normally pick someone who has a winning record. And I don't know if there's. Yeah. I don't think that they're going to be a team this year like the Rams last year that goes from, from loser to that good. I think it's going to be kind of the same teams we saw last year that were good are going to be good this year. Except for your
Matt
your
Bears. The Bears. He's
getting there. Forgot about your damn Bears.
I'll say he made some good moves. He comes out on top of that division. I'll say that he'll get Coach of the Year.
I don't think he's coming out on top, but I think if we do what I said, which is get to like a 10-win team, sneak into a wild card, I think you will see him at least be in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
So who do you think's winning it then? Him?
Yeah, I'm thinking Matt Nagy.
Who do you think, Phil?
So I think I picked Atlanta to be pretty high in the playoff race. So I'm gonna go Dan Quinn.
All right.
Because I think he's
even
always
after Thursday.
Even after Thursday, I think they have some problems.
That wasn't a good performance.
It wasn't. They have players they need to utilize. I think now that Coleman's going to shine over Freeman. So looks like Freeman kind of got injured, and then they didn't utilize Calvin Ridley at all. We're going to talk about who we thought was going to be Rookie of the Year. I thought he had a shot at the beginning of the season. Matt Ryan didn't even look to him. It was the Jones show. But instead of always being the bridesmaid of the bride, they leave Dan Quinn. He makes a run. He becomes the bride, I guess. But yeah, I think I'll go with Dan Quinn.
All right. Dan Quinn's got to figure out how to score when it's first goal on one before running portrait plays and not scoring first.
Well, yeah.
Or find a way to get Julio Jones red zone targets, because that's embarrassing.
That's what I was talking about TJ. Didn't the first time they went to the red zone, they didn't throw it to him once.
Even though he was single-handedly got them there.
He's gross. He's absolutely gross. And the fact that he's not getting red zone targets is just
that's a scheme problem. I don't think that's a Matt Ryan Jones problem.
So since this is our podcast, we're going to go tangent. What do you guys think about the fade fucking play? I can't stand when they throw the fade in the red zone. And like Julio Jones, last play of the game, they threw a fade, the guy pushed right bounds because there's no force out anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stand that play.
I don't like the play in general or that specific?
The play in general. Second and it's like you're on the 2-yard line, second and goal, and you just throw a fade. I mean,
I don't like
sometimes it works. Like if you have Julio
Jones,
a lot. In theory, it
should you have a Jones, a Brown, a Beckham. Not everyone can do it.
The back shoulder.
Not everyone can do it, and it takes skill. I mean, I don't know why you're hating on the play.
I just feel like if you're an NFL team and you have to go 2 yards, and you don't feel like you can get it, then do something else. But I guess they do with the fade. But
I think part of me is just I'd much rather see on the goal line you get that big back in there and you put your mamma jammas in and you try and bang that shit in.
Just go. I guess what I'm saying is I get it. Like if it's first and goal to 8. Like I see people running they're the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. If you're in that kind of maybe 5 to 15, 5 might be a little generous, but anywhere from 5 to 15 yards, you can run that fade because you got some room. You can make a throw. I agree with Ben. I think the no force out really fucks it up now. The fact that you can just push a guy out of bounds and it doesn't even matter. That just ruins it for me.
All right, so next award is breakout player. And for this one, I went with what I think is going to be an obvious choice in Patrick Mahomes. Because he can't win Rookie of the Year. And he's going to start for a very good Chiefs team. And with a ton of weapons. Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I don't remember the exact thing, but I think TJ and I had them winning the division.
Yep.
You had San Diego winning the division.
Yeah.
Yep. The Chargers, the LA Chargers, so I went Patrick Mahomes for breakout player.
Breakout player.
So this is tough because
that's the thing. I'm gonna say Saquon for I guess my rookie pick, but
because it's not going to be. Typically they don't pick rookies for this because rookies have their own.
They're up for the rookie.
Yeah. So you have to kind of find that second, third, fourth year guy who hasn't really come on the scene yet. I think he's kind of the obvious choice because he's going to be playing quarterback. I couldn't really think of.
I mean, you can't pick Kamara because even though he's the starter now, he still killed it last year.
Another guy it could be is Joe Mixon, who's now the starting running back for the Bengals. He was really good in college and he could come out, but again, quarterbacks always seem. These are awards that quarterbacks win unless.
Well, you know what? I think it was Keenan Allen who won last year. Or no, he was comeback. I'm sorry, it was comeback. Who was breakout?
I don't know who it was last year. Maybe Carson Wentz because he was second.
I was gonna say that sounds like a.
I think it's gonna be tough to unseat Mahomes for that. I think
Mahomes
is gonna come out.
So we can transition to because the next one I'm gonna talk about is comeback for the year. I think this one also has an obvious choice. I think it's gonna be Andrew Luck because he's just anywhere near what he was before he got hurt.
So
it's gonna be incredible.
I have the same reasoning, but I don't know if you can consider it a comeback. Deshaun Watson.
Sure, you consider a comeback.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll pick Watson because he was on fire. He was setting records and then injured.
Yep.
So I'll go with Watson with comeback.
So that's kind of interesting because I wasn't thinking about Deshaun, but could you make the same case for him to be breakout? Because he got cut short pretty quickly last year.
I mean, he broke out. I think it's obvious he got game, but he didn't.
That's true.
Complete his season.
I don't have the rule or everything, but if they both light it up and Mahomes sucks, I wouldn't be shocked if they give Watson breakout. Because I think he would be more of a breakout than Luck. Because Luck did it for 2 full seasons, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns.
He's a good comeback.
Yeah, I think Luck. So I think that's the way it worked. I could see if Luck gets hurt again or has a down year. Watson's probably also there for You could have a comeback player of the year with those two.
I mean, also in that conversation, injured most of the season, Aaron Rodgers, he could be comeback. He's been there, done that. So again, I don't know if he's in the same category as these guys, but I don't know.
True. We'll get to Rodgers in a little bit. Don't worry about that. All right. So the next one is defensive rookie of the year. I threw a toss up in the air between TJ Roquan, but I think Bradley Chubb is going to be defensive player of the year. I just think next to Von Miller, Von Miller's going to get so much attention that Chubb could dominate.
I don't disagree with you. I think Chubb is going to be in the running. I think I would give the edge to Roquan, and the only reason I say that, not because it's a Chicago thing, is because I think the Bears are better than the Broncos, and those boys typically go to a player on a better team.
True, and I guess my argument would work for Roquan because they now have Mac that's going to be getting the same attention that Von Miller would be getting. So
I guess I'll agree with Roquan.
All right. So offensive rookie of the year, I have as a split. I think there's going to be Coes. I think Saquon and Sam Darnold. And the reason being is because we all know that for MVP or any of those awards, for a running back someone to win it, quarterbacks need to have a down year, in general. So I think Barkley's going to be incredible, and I think Darnold's going to be decent, and I think they split it. Because Sam Darnold, as much as we hate to admit it, quarterbacks are these awards are made for quarterbacks.
Well,
their stats are going to be
incredible. In large part, but I don't think you can take a guy who has a decent year and compare him to a guy who has.
But a decent year for Darnold is say he throws for 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns.
How many picks?
15. And then say Barkley runs for 1,200 yards, 7 or 8 touchdowns. I
take Barkley.
I know you would, but I'm just saying I think those numbers are comparable. And if I was the only one to use your argument against you, I was the only one in here that put the Giants in the playoffs. So if the Giants don't make the playoffs, and the Jets finish second in their division, and the Giants finish third in their division, because we all think that the Eagles are probably going to be up there, and you think the Redskins, you think the Cowboys, so you think the Giants are at least going to be third.
Yeah,
I think you could split.
Yeah, but I don't think the Jets are going to be good at all.
I think they're going to finish second in the division.
Well, the thing is,
doesn't mean they're going to be good, but I think if they're 7-9? I think you can win rookie year 7-9.
All right. Well, I think the Giants are minimum going 8-8.
Bradford won it when we went 8-8 and didn't make the playoffs.
See,
he was rookie year
because he put quarterback.
Well, yeah, I'm helping you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it'll be Kobe, because I think Sam's going to be a good quarterback. I think Barkley's going to have a great year, and just. Unfortunately, quarterbacks and then running backs are here, so the running backs have to do a little bit extra to get to that.
Well, so go with your reasoning. You're still saying Darnold has a losing season this rookie of the year. I guarantee you, we're going to see Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen. How do they factor in? I don't think either one. They don't. I don't think either one even takes their division.
Well, they won't. Well, Rosen's definitely not going to win it because if Bradford, the problem is he's not starting, so every game Bradford plays.
Oh no, I know they're not. Either one of them are starting, but they're gonna. I think both of them. Pretty confident both of them are going to make an appearance.
I think the problem is when. If you don't make an appearance till week 8, you only play half the season.
Okay, yeah.
I'm obviously if Sam Bradford does his usual and gets hurt the first play today.
That's exactly why I think he's gonna Rosen's gonna show up. And Tyrod already got injured. I think he is still starting, but
he is still starting.
He's susceptible now.
Yeah.
I think Baker also makes an appearance.
So I think it's when they come out. I think Barkley is the best rookie in general, regardless of playing time or position. I think if it were, let's say that what's the name of the Browns? Baker Mayfield. Let's say Baker Mayfield was starting today. I think he would be ahead of Darnold, only because I don't.
What?
Only
Are you shitting me?
Only because he can run.
Oh my God!
And if the Jets, so what would be more surprising to you? The Browns went 5-11, or the Jets went 7-9? I think the Browns going 5-11 would be more than the Jets. So I think that again we go back to that surprise factor and how
more surprising. Yes, even
okay.
Having that
they're going to win
winning awards. No.
You have to remember
Baker's going to be trash, and the Browns are going to suck again, and
we're going to go through this same
stuff. All right, we're going to the Browns again.
Because they suck. All right,
whatever. I'm going to go with Saquon. That's fine.
Saquon's my pick.
All right. So we got 3 left. Defensive Player of the Year. This one was tough. I went Mac. I went Khalil Mack for this because I think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because the Raiders didn't want to pay him, and I think he's going to fucking.
Well, I think now
destroy
that
people.
he went from a team where he was the only really notable defensive player to a team with quite a few.
Yeah.
I think he elevates them, and regardless of even if he puts up his regular numbers, just the fact that he's going to take double, triple coverage, that he just elevates the whole Chicago's defense as a whole from where they already were, which is what I would say a top 10 defense as it was. Yeah, I think Mac affects that as a whole.
I agree. I think he's got too much star power around him, so that way, because when he's on Oakland, he's the only guy that you even have to really key on,
and he's still putting
exactly. He's still putting up insane numbers. So now that he's got some guys around him that are going to require some attention, I think he might get himself freed up a little bit more than he usually would to really let himself put up some even bigger numbers than he has before. And he's going to take expensive player again.
Just an excuse to talk about the Rams again. Donald, I would say he's in the running. He won it last year. Maybe that already takes him out of the running.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I wouldn't say him. It's because he just won it, and it's.
But Donald and then Jaden Clowney, he just gets better every year.
Yeah. JJ's back too, so JJ
plays there you go.
Season.
There you go.
JJ could be coming back.
But I'm going to go, I agree with
All right, Offensive Player of the Year. So this is basically who he thinks. I always view Offensive Player of the Year as like the position player that should have won MVP, but they gave it to a quarterback instead. So I went with Todd Gurley on this because I think he's going to have equally as good, if not better. I know. I think he's going to have. I think he's going to have a better year this year than he had last year.
I hope so.
Pick against him because Gurley is. Good.
So
he's so good.
For full transparency, I was going to go Le'Veon Bell until he's not playing today, and we don't know when he's going to play.
He's on my sense.
And that's even funny, right? Hope he holds out like the whole season.
Whatever. Shit.
I think he's a Derek Carr.
Those are Bilf's buddy picks.
You picked Derek Carr?
He was just my second quarterback.
Who's your first quarterback?
Roethlisberger. Remember they both have the 7-week bye.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they both have the same. Yeah, I didn't think that one. Whatever.
We don't know that. Roethlisberger and Bell. You want a little Steelers connection there. You have Juju also?
No, not Juju. Should have. But whatever.
I had Juju on your fantasy team.
Bill filled the rest of the team with Browns. Look up in that Brown squad.
I'm actually going to jump car and go get Baker. So.
Oh, God. You heard it here, folks. Never, ever listen to Bill.
As much shit as I gave Cousins last show, he's quarterback in one of my leagues. So I got to root for him now.
Exactly.
But what was it? I actually didn't go with Todd Gurley just because he won it last year. And I thought that was an obvious pick for a role, especially for me. But fucking hell. Yeah, I'll go Gurley.
All right, MVP. I got Aaron Rodgers.
You're so
wow.
He's gonna, because he's not gonna come back, and he's gonna put up incredible. I honestly think Jimmy Graham's career is revitalizing Green Bay.
How'd you go with fantasy?
I think that's a good pick.
I agree.
Depending on where you got him, if you drafted him first round, maybe not.
MVP. This one's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take a shot here. Total shot in the dark.
Marcus Mariota.
God no. And this may kind
Bill's going Baker, so it wouldn't be that bad.
This may be a little bit of a stretch, seeing as how I put him in the conversation for potentially breakout. But I think if Deshaun Watson plays all year, he could be in the conversation for MVP.
Oh, I like that pick.
He could.
Only because he was mine. If we're going to qualify him for a comeback, that's what I'm going to pick. You know what? I'm going to ride the Dan Quinn wins Coach of the Year. I'm going to say Matt Ryan. I think he had his peak.
After the Week 1 performance?
He's going to come back. Okay?
Oh my God.
Don't call it a comeback because it's MVP.
I won't call it a comeback because he's not doing it.
I think we saw some good things happen. I didn't root for Freeman to get injured, but now that Coleman's in, I think Coleman's more explosive. I think their running game now, focused on Coleman, will be better. I know they didn't use Calvin Ridley, but they have some dirty receivers now with Sanu, Jones,
players
Ridley.
Not named Matt Ryan again.
I'm just saying, the players that have the pieces around him, now it's going to be on his shoulders to carry them to the promised land. And I think he will.
Carry them to the promised land.
Then again, they had like 5 defensive players get injured, so but still.
No, I don't.
I'm going to go Matt Ryan.
You don't even have the Falcons winning that division.
Still, we can be MVP.
If we're we're talking about
then we're just going to go with Tom Brady because he's in with the Super Bowl.
So you agree? Patriots won.
Oh, no.
You changed your pick already.
No. Oh, no, I'm still going with my Rams.
Yeah,
but if we're going to go
I'm gonna go with that sleeper pick. I'm gonna say if Washington stays healthy this year, he's gonna be in the running for it.
Really? You're gonna pick Rodgers to go?
Yeah, because
He's good. Don't get me wrong. There is no argument.
he was hurt last year. I think Rodgers has. So the problem is that like you have all those weapons, yes, but I think that like hurts you in MVP. And like Brady and Rodgers, both their teams need them to do so
You're
much.
saying
to
big
win.
carrying? That's fine.
Yeah, like
Well, when he
Did you have
starts
him
off
winning?
with an L tonight on Sunday night.
I don't have them winning the division. I think the Vikings do,
Yeah,
but I have the Packers making the playoffs. He had the Bears. I had the Packers.
We don't think our boy Kirk Cousins can define himself in MVP running.
Yeah, we know you think. No.
If you're gonna go with those pieces thing, that was
Yeah,
usually,
exactly.
you plug him in because he has all these pieces around him.
That's the one thing in all sport days about the MVP is a lot of times it's the best player on the best team. When in like it really should just be the most valuable person. And I think if you take Aaron Rodgers off the Packers, I talked about this last time, he takes you from 3 wins or less to the playoffs. He gets $100 million. He gets MVP.
So you just have to make $100 million to get MVP. So we're looking at Ryan and Rodgers. Those are our two picks.
No, I'm not saying that. Just like to the NBA, you take LeBron off the team. LeBron's MVP every year because if you take him off the team, they're not winning the game. So
All right. So we fairly diverse picks amongst the awards.
All right, so let's transition over real quick before we head out because I know we want to go watch these football games. Just to college football, and we'll talk about the Heisman winner. So we watched, at least I watched, Arizona play Houston yesterday.
That was a waste of time.
I had heard Ed Oliver was good. That dude is fucking good.
He's
Like,
a monster.
Yes,
he
is.
I don't need to watch another game the rest of the year. I mean, our offensive line is dumped, and we've had a walk-on play center. But, like, we had, like, the center, both guards, and running backs trying to block this dude, and we couldn't even have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Dude's an animal.
he is probably the best player in college football, and I think he's going to be the number one overall pick. I think he was the one that already said that he's going into the draft.
Shit.
And he'll be the number one pick unless a team like, I guess the Browns will be there and they won't need their quarterback, so they'll probably take him to put him
So
with.
you also agree the Browns will be
Miles
top
Garrett.
pick.
No, I don't think the Browns will be there. I think it's going to be the Bills. And the Bills could use defensive help. So
And Browns.
I do think, although that he is the best player, I think Will Greer from West Virginia wins the Heisman. Again, it's the quarterback thing. I also think because Houston is in a Power 5 conference and they don't play the competition that Will Greer is going to play in the Big 12, I think that's going to hurt him. I mean, they were talking yesterday about the biggest game Houston has on their schedule after us was Memphis. And obviously they're fighting to be like that number one team that's not in a Power 5 conference with like Boise State and other teams like that. But I think as amazing and as good as Ed Oliver is, I think his lack of competition is going to hurt him unless everyone else just it's going to have to be one of those seasons. Like I think the last time like Charles Woodson or Desmond Howard, whoever was the last cornerback to win it. Everyone else kind of has to have like a subpar year, and then you have to have like an incredible year. And unless that happens, I think Roger is going to win it, and he's already putting up phenomenal stats.
The problem what he's going to run into to make that kind of comparison is Woodson and Howard. They were return guys as well. They contributed in other ways, whereas Ed Oliver's strictly a defensive tackle. Yep. Although incredible, I think the only thing that will favor Ed Oliver with his very weak schedule is he could potentially pad his stats like crazy, playing a bunch of fucking scrubs and just getting like 15 tackles a game with like 3 sacks.
True. I mean, he played us, and while he was a big impact, he did not definitely pad his stats.
True, but I wonder if there's like a spectrum, like if someone's like, oh, he had 100 tackles for long. Like you get to that point where your stats are like too good, and then everyone's like, he must play shit.
Yeah.
Like you kind of got to play that balance. It's like a balancing act, right? Because you want your numbers to be as good as possible. But if they're too good, then people start questioning like how good. Like, did you play high school teams the entire year? Like they start questioning who you really played. So it's like that balancing act. Whereas like Roger is going to get games against Oklahoma and like all these teams that he's going to have a chance to show out. And if he just does decent in those games, I think it's kind of his to lose at this point.
I am going to go a different route, and I think that we're going to see the sophomore from Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor, take it.
Running back?
Yep.
My sleeper pick, the one I tossed up with Greer is I know Greer's kind of like the obvious pick. Kyler Murray is like damn good for Oklahoma at quarterback. And the way he can run around and make those exciting plays, like I know Greer's mobile as well, but a lot of times you win the Heisman by having top 10 plays, and I think Kyler Murray's going to have a shit ton of top 10 plays before the year's done. He can run around. Problem is, I don't know if he's a good enough passer against teams when they start playing Big 12 conference games.
See, where I think it'll go, I honestly don't think Will Greer will even be the top two for it. I think Jonathan Taylor is my pick to win it, and I think strictly because he plays on the best team in the country, Tua is going to get in the conversation.
He is actually my pick, Tua. Not only did he blow up on the scene in a championship game, but I mean the man can throw. You just said top 10 plays. He can make those plays with his arm. He can make those plays with his legs. And again, you got the best team. You got the best coach. The Saban-Tooth Tiger. Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Come on, come on.
The Saban-Tooth Tiger.
That's genius. That's genius. I don't know what you're talking about. You got the Saban-Tooth Tiger.
Stop calling it.
Here. I'm going to keep going with these puns. The only thing that's going to hurt him is Hurts. Because I think it is fun. Whatever. Because the thing is,
I think it's going to hurt us as you're doing more puns.
Because they still have them both playing. So Tua isn't going to pad his stats.
Exactly.
Just keep sitting on his. They're going to put in Hurts to save Tua for the future. And that might be the only thing in my mind that makes him not.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said Tua.
I think where we may see it go a different route is because the SEC is the SEC and it's tough and it's competitive. So they won't be in these spots like they were against Alabama State, whoever the hell they played yesterday, where they're up 57-0, and they put in.
It wasn't Alabama State. They played somebody else.
Well, some scrub team, whatever, that they just ran a train on. They're going to play these tough teams, the Auburns, the Georgias, and they're going to want Tua in the whole game. So he's going to have the chance to make huge impact in huge games.
And if he has those numbers against those teams, again, he has the benefit of being in the SEC. Yeah, I think he gets it.
True. The only other thing I'd say about Alabama is they're rarely when they play SEC teams are in 30, 40-point shootouts because their defense is so good.
Yeah.
And you don't let up a lot of points, and I think that hurts their offensive players winning the Heisman when people know, you want to defeat it, but it's because your defense held everyone under 20 points, every game. So that's one thing that can hurt too, whereas Will Greer's going to have to win by putting up 45 a game.
Yeah, well, I think and kind of the whole mantra we all disagree with, but we agree exists, is that typically these awards go to the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
He's probably the best player on the best team.
Yeah. Unless your stats are incredible. And I think, two of the favorites, both of the Pac-12, I think Bryce Love and Cole Tatum almost pulled themselves out of the competition the way they played the first week. Bryce Love played better yesterday against USC, but that first game he had 15 carries, 28 yards. And it's like the NFL. You can't afford to have one bad game. You're trying to win the Heisman. You only get 12 games.
Exactly.
And everyone else is going to have a good game. So when Baker won it last year, his worst game, he had 3 touchdowns and 1 pick, 250 yards. That's still an incredible game. So.
Yeah, and then Tate he's just dive bombing.
Injured too. He's not even the mobile quarterback
that was his only saving grace, was the fact that he was dual threat.
To be honest, I thought they were counting their chickens way ahead when they put him on Sports Illustrated. I was like, did you guys not see how he finished? You're gonna put him on the cover? Don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for the guy, but I thought that was pretty optimistic.
I can't go with the Saban-Tooth Tiger.
How has no one thought of that? That's genius.
That's fucking stupid. That's fine.
Whatever. That's how we're going to end
it. We're going to go ahead and end right there. We're going to go watch some football. So this will be up tomorrow. It'll be, I guess, today by the time you guys listen to it. But we'll be releasing these, once a week on Mondays. We'll talk about the week 1 results next week, and then we'll also be trying to be more active on our Twitter and Instagram. So at Podcast Potatoes on Twitter, Instagram, come and follow us. We'll release clips and stuff throughout the week, but also let us know when you listen, what you think, what you guys want to hear, what you don't want to hear. Please say more Bilf puns so we don't have to deal with those. But
Saban-Tooth Tiger Jimmy.
We'll be interacting with you guys, so let us know what you think. Please follow us and be listening for next week's podcast.